Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Earlier today, defensive coordinator Tony Wright spoke to the media about a variety of different topics, including how the depth at cornerback helps the defense be flexible.
Three cornerbacks.
Yeah, a lot of flexibility, right? Gives you a lot of flexibility to move guys around. I mean, you got Keese in there and his safety time, you know, Malcolm at his corner time. I mean, when all those guys are healthy, Bly is working himself back and getting healthy and getting him in shape and getting his wits about him. So, again, the more we can be flexible, the more we can take snaps off of guys, the more we can move guys around. I think, you know, you just have a better overall product back there. You know, guys are fresher, guys are faster, they're keeping each other sharp. So we'll see how that plays out this Saturday.
More from Coach White as well as Marcus Satterfield in a bit. The AP preseason women's basketball poll came out this afternoon, and Nebraska is ranked 23rd. It's the second time in the past 3 years that the Huskers have been ranked in the preseason. Nebraska is one of 6 Big Ten teams ranked, joining number 3 USC, number 5 UCLA, number 14 Ohio State, 18th ranked Maryland, and 25th ranked Indiana. Iowa, Illinois, and Michigan State are all receiving votes as well. Former Husker baseball star Jake Myers was named an AL Gold Glove finalist in center field, along with Dalton Varsho and Jaron Duran. This year's winner will be announced on November 3rd. Speaking of Nebraska baseball, the Huskers just wrapped up their Red-White series game today. The Red won 5-1 thanks to a strong performance from Jalen Worthley on the mound. Worthley went 5 innings, allowed just 4 hits, no runs, struck out 3, and only walked 1. Josh Overbeek led the red team offense as he went 3 for 4 with a double. Case Sanderson was 2 for 3 for the white squad. For more information and stats, visit Huskers.com. Finally, the Husker men's golf team wrapped up play in the Cubane Cup today. Nebraska finished 3rd in a 13-team field loaded with NCAA regional qualifiers. Rudy Satrone and Grant Jabenis both finished in the top 10 individually as well. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout if you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
They are bunched up around the line of scrimmage. Handoff to Dowdell off the right side. Touchdown, Nebraska! Dante Dowdell finds pay dirt. 6-0 Big Red. Let those balloons loose. 4th and 10 from the 26. Shotgun for Kaliak Menace. Gets the belt high snap. Has some time. Gets hit. Goes down. Huskers will take over on downs. James Williams again gets home.
Bump set to the left side, and Hudson swings. There's Lexi with another dig. Huskers the slide. Jackson needs it. Off the tee it out. Nebraska's second lead, set 5. It's 13-15. 13-12 Nebraska. Devaney Delirium. Bergen sends it to the back middle. Great pass again by Hudson. Outside set. Chloe Chicoine tipping. And there's Bergen. Huskers have it. 16-15 in the 5th. Right side. Merritt. She got it. Point Big Red. Call the grandkids. Nebraska takes down Purdue. 17-15. Set number 5. And they love it in Lincoln.
Now, here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back for another full 2 hours tonight on Tuesday. Glad to have you with us here. Thank you so much for spending part of your evening with us tonight. Going to talk a lot of football, mix in a little bit of baseball chatter later on in the program as well, as both coordinators, Marcus Satterfield, Tony White, met with the media today to talk about the upcoming opponent, the nationally ranked Indiana Hoosiers. And boy, does that sound weird to say that, but both coordinators very impressed with IU. We'll hear some comments that they have about trying to, 1, defend them, and 2, move the football against that Indiana defense on Saturday. So we'll have that for you here in just a little bit. Also going to hear from Javin Wright, who's making a splash back, got back way sooner than I think the coaches initially thought. I think the feeling was that they could get him back by mid-November, maybe for the USC game, and having for USC, Wisconsin, Iowa would be great. But boy, he was back 2 games ago and playing some good football. Jessica caught up with him earlier today. We'll have that conversation. Ben McLaughlin's going to join us. He's traveling with his other job this week, but he has some thoughts about Husker football, what he did on his bye week, and we'll talk a little Husker baseball fall bowls. Camden told you they played Game 4 of the Red-White series today. They will wrap it all up tomorrow with Game 5. We'll try to get Coach Bolt and Coach Ravel on here late October, early November to kind of put a bow on their fall seasons as they get ready for what should be a really fun spring around here with the return of Jordy Ball off of her injury, and then with the Huskers having so many people back on that baseball team that won the Big Ten tournament last year. It should be an exciting spring for that. So we'll look forward to hearing from Ben coming up in the second hour of the program. And as always, we want to hear from you at 402-413-2400. Text line wide open for you here on this Tuesday night. I want to start with something that we got into last night, Jess, about Coach Lanning at Oregon finding a loophole in the rules late in the Ohio State game Saturday that allowed them to purposely put a 12th man on the field, knowing that they would get penalized, but also knowing that they probably could defend pretty well and chew up a couple of seconds off the clock. Well, this has raised eyebrows of the NCAA and their sports council. They're going to look into this, and they might make a rule change even this week. Because I think once you've somebody's figured it out, you're like, well, everybody's going to do that
right
late in close games. So kudos to Coach Lanning for knowing the rules well enough to go, hey, this might benefit us, but I think you better step in and get this done before you have a mass group of teams starting to do this thing.
Well, you're seeing it even with the injuries, right? I mean, it's been a huge topic of discussion. I know there's been multiple coaches that have complained about that. A guy's going down, he's fine. Then he looks over on the sideline. Someone tells him to get down. He gets down. So there needs to be some adjustments there. But this is one of those ones where, again, kudos to Oregon for taking advantage of it while they could. Yeah. But as soon as somebody did it, you knew, and it was played an impact on an outcome of the game, you knew that it was going to get addressed. And as soon as it happened, and he even said, he embraced it, he admitted to it in his press conference, like, heck yeah, basically, yeah, we knew what we were doing. You knew it wasn't going to last long. So, hey, they kept it in their back pocket for whenever they needed it. It helped them win a huge game. And then now no more, So I think it needed to happen. It's one of those things where hopefully, and kudos, they move fast on this because, again, whatever team it might be shouldn't be punished for them getting a penalty. And I understand they were punished with a penalty, but they also, the time played a huge factor in that. The time played a huge factor in them not being able to get into field goal range, and it was a 1-point game. So I'm glad that they're making moves. It needed to be done, but the rule was what it was, and Oregon took advantage of it, got it a win out of the deal. But now let's address it and change it. I'm glad that they're not waiting till the end of the season. I assumed that would be the case. But I'm glad they're going to make a change and try to get it done quickly, because you don't want it to continue to be a factor in games.
You had 5-6 seconds of that game. Howard's scramble with a timeout would have given them ample time to kick the field goal that would have won the game. So it was that margin in that game, and not every game is that close where it could mean that. I get that, but certainly we had overtime games all over the place last week in college football. I don't think that the NCAA has any choice, or the powers to be that run college football. I don't think they have a choice. They have left a loophole open that somebody found, barged right through it, and it affected the outcome of a game. I think they've got to fix this here in a hurry, and I think they know that.
Yeah.
Multiple people were reporting that today, including Ross Dillinger, saying, they are looking into that right now.
Could you I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in the conversations of, hey, this is something we could do. We could run 12 men out on the field and stop a big play from happening. And it's not going to, I want to know who was the brainchild behind that thought process and how it came to be, because again, it was brilliant, genius, you take advantage of it. You only get one. Now it's one and done at this point, because you knew that's probably going to be the case if it caused a big outcome like this. But I would have just loved to have been a part of that thought process of, hey, let's run 12 men out there, stop them. And then, hey, we got the game in the bag.
Crazy. Tony White talked about it today at his press conference. I don't have that clip ready for us, but he said, good on them. He goes, they found it, used it, it helped them win a game. He goes, tip your cap. Somebody did the research. Tony Tuioti is on that staff. I don't know that Tony came up with this loophole finish. There are a couple of players that have Nebraska ties on that Oregon team. Didn't hurt my feelings at all. They beat Ohio State, but it was an interesting ending, no doubt, because they took advantage of something that I don't think a lot of people thought about. So, again, tip your cap. Wild. Crazy, huh? Crazy.
Yeah. And, again, glad very rarely, you said this, very rarely is it going to come down to that. But on those instances that it does, you don't want to have a repeat of this. But right there, at that point on Saturday, it was the rule. It was the loophole in the rule. Oregon took advantage of it, and they were able to it absolutely aided in their victory. I mean, I just fully believe. I mean, like you said, even if they just have 2 more seconds, you know, and they're in field goal range, so you know, you got to go kick the field goal, but still, it prevented Ohio State from even having a shot, and so you knew that okay, when it's that monumental of an impact on a game, that it was going to get addressed. But very rarely does it come down to that. But, hey, it did, and now let's get it fixed and addressed so it doesn't happen again.
Hey, kudos to Amy Williams and the Husker women's basketball team. Today the preseason top 25 came out. They're in at number 23. And I know it's preseason, but if you start in the polls, a lot more eyeballs on you. You're on a lot more ticker crawls when they put the top 25 scores up there. What a nod to her and the returning team. And obviously, Alexis has a big part of this. She's first team all-conference and maybe one of the top. She's an All-American returning for Nebraska, but it's a great place to start. And, you know, we sometimes poo-poo rankings because we may not be in them in some of our sports, but this, I think, is a big deal for them and a really nod to her program and that they're on people's radar. So I think that's really cool that came out today.
Yeah, and you know, you go back to basketball is one of those sports, and football really too, are the 2 sports that they do the way too early top 25, and it was right after the season that Nebraska was in that top 25, basically like in April or May. And so, you know, you knew that adding the additions that they did with Britt and Amaya Hargrove, and then with the returnees that they have, yeah, I mean, you've got some expectations, and we talked a lot about that throughout all last season. Alexis Markowski is one of the best posts, one of the best bigs in the country that isn't talked about. She does not get enough recognition, does not get enough, you know, praise for the job that she does, and you know, I think the coaches and the teams in the Big Ten certainly think that obviously she was voted, you know, all Big Ten first team. But, you know, when you have someone like that, a senior post presence like that, that's coming back, and you have some of the young pieces. I mean, Natalie Potts was incredible last year, Big Ten Freshman of the Year. So you have some really good pieces coming back from a team that made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament, and then you add some really highly touted recruits, then yeah, those expectations are going to come, and that's where that team wants to be. You've said it all along that the goal for this team needs to be able to host. The NCAA, their first and second round games. But this is a good starting point because, like you said, I mean, you know, with the Big Ten and the Big Ten Plus, some of their games are not on a nationally televised, so at least you have already the recognition going into this season that people are paying attention, and you don't have to earn it when people aren't seeing you. You know, on some of those early games when you're not on the network slots, you're on the Big Ten Plus. Yeah,
I didn't expect that today. Pleasant surprise to see them in the top 25. I thought they'd be just outside of it, you know, receiving votes, that type of thing. But one thing that I think gets lost last year, and you mentioned the NCAA tournament win, that's great, and you beat a Power 5 team in A&M to do that, to move on to the second round, and you lost to the host school in Oregon State. But Nebraska made the Big Ten title game, right? They really played well against Iowa. That was on a big nationally television stage. So I think that sticks in people's mind that, hey, this team pushed Iowa to the finals in the Big Ten tournament and then went on, had to go on the road in the first weekend of the NCAA tournament, won over a good, solid A&M program, and then came up short against Oregon State. But they built some momentum last year, and yes, Jazz is gone, but Britt Prince is one of the more highly recruited individuals to come into this program in a long, long time. And the other parts that they've added and the other parts they got back, this should be an outstanding basketball team. So really happy for Coach Williams and that team to get preseason recognition. That's kind of cool.
And you know, Greg, it wasn't even just the Big Ten title game. I mean, They played at Iowa, and it was closer. It was more of a battle than what the final score ended up being at Iowa. Huskers beat Iowa at home, and that was in front of a nationally televised audience because that's when Caitlin was chasing the record. So they took advantage of some opportunities where they had a lot of eyeballs on them and were impressive in how they matched up with a team that ended up, did they play in the national championship game?
Yes. Yeah, got beat in the finals.
My
South Carolina.
memory is awful. I can't even remember 6 months ago. But anyways, a team that goes to the national championship has the player of the year, and Nebraska held their own against them the 3 times that they faced them. And so, I think they caught some attention last year. And boy, that run in the Big Ten tournament, they had some impressive stretches. So, you'd hope to build off of it. They're by no means satisfied by just going to the tournament and winning a game. This is a team now. We heard Alexis Markowski at the opening night the other night. They've got bigger goals. They've got bigger goals in mind. And, you certainly feel like you have the pieces to be able to do that. And that's what you want when you're building a program is now you go into a season where you have those expectations, not where you're chasing them and nobody's really paying attention until you've won. How many was it that first year that they won? Like 16 in a row. So you don't, you want to get to that point where you have that preseason ranking and you're a program that is expected to not just make the tournament, but go win some games and make a run in the postseason too.
Yeah, really good stuff. You're going to be talking to Allison Widener later in the week. I don't know that we can get that on Sports Nightly this week, but we sure will next week as we fast approach getting to the start of college basketball. By the way, happy birthday to head coach Fred Hoiberg today. Happy birthday, Coach. I don't know how old he is. Doesn't matter to me, but happy birthday.
Hey, how about your birthday was a couple weeks ago, Fred Hoiberg. My birthday, I mean, all of the cool people are born in October.
That's exactly right. That's very well put. Very well put.
I mean, name a better trio than you, me, and Coach Hoiberg.
You can do it. Who would you rather have a cocktail with than the three of us? Because Fred loves that wine.
A glass of vino.
This is going to be a new visit for you this week, right? You've not been to Bloomington.
I have not. So this is one of the schools that I have not been on my trips throughout these first few years. So, knocking another one off on Saturday.
Jessica, this is crazy. We've been in the Big Ten 13 years. We've played football at Indiana one time.
Wow.
How bizarre is that? Weird. We've been to Purdue probably 7. We've been to Rutgers like 4 or 5. We've been to Indiana once. One of the older stadiums in the league, one of the older press boxes in the league. They're clearly, and they make no bones about it, they're a basketball school. That's where they kind of hang their hat. But they're excited about this football team. They've sold this game out. They're going to be pumped up to go celebrate Big Noon. It's going to be a heck of a game. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm ready to go on Saturday.
And Coach Google Me today, I think, said that the team's going to give them that sold-out crowd a bunch to cheer about. So hopefully that's on the bulletin board inside the Huskers locker room. Ooh. Also, my dad and brother are making the trip up there. I think there's going to be a good Husker showing up there.
Oh, there will be. There will be. I would imagine it'll be close to what we had at Purdue, and that was a decent turnout we had at Purdue a couple weeks ago. These two campuses are only about an hour and a half apart, not very far at all between West Lafayette, maybe 2, West Lafayette and Bloomington. All right, full show coming up here in a few minutes. We'll hear from both coordinators, Tony White on defense, Marcus Satterfield on offense, as Sports Nightly rolls along here on a Tuesday.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious bites, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on our massive screens. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. Play, drink, eat.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house online and owning it, between imagining living there and breathing in your new home for the first time. Having an advocate who can help you navigate the complex world of financing, inspections, negotiating, analyzing the market, and talking through any anxieties that may pop up, that can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and bound by a code of ethics, because that's who we are.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the propane tank on your grill first, before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
For almost 50 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been more than just a dealership. We're a family dedicated to serving yours. Shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer for the new car, truck, or SUV to fit your needs. We're also your GMC Business Elite dealer for commercial vehicles. Visit us at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Drives us, Sid Dillon.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Imagine a world where your office IT runs smoothly, securely, and effortlessly. A day where you aren't worried about the next outage or password compromise. At Hamilton, we take care of everything from monitoring and maintenance to security and support. We partner with your business to design integrated technology solutions that fit your needs now and your goals for the future. With on-site and remote IT support options, we're always just a call or click away. Elevate your IT with Hamilton Managed IT. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. It is a Tuesday night. Tuesdays, as we're now back into a normal game week for the Huskers, both coordinators meet with the media. Tony White on defense, Marcus Satterfield on offense. Let's start offense and give you tonight's practice report.
It's time for the Nebraska football practice report.
Getting out of boot camp and getting to football is probably exciting for them, but also relief because I know a lot of these guys, the guys that came back, they came back because they want to get to the season.
At the win over Rutgers, you're 5-1. You're feeling good about yourself, so I'm sure this team is really anxious to play. We'll start with Coach Satterfield. He was asked about Dylan and how did he come off of what was not his best game of 2024. Here's Coach Satterfield's response.
Great. I mean, he didn't skip a beat, celebrating in the locker room after the game. Some guys you'd think would be down and kind of wasn't that at all, just being a great leader. And he came back ready to work in his open week, had a great open week. A great preparation last week, which bled into this week.
Greg, that's what I noticed too. And I've said that a few times now since the game, the win. He even though he might have not had his best game, he was very excited and happy to celebrate with his teammates, and it was not about him at all. And that's what is just so great about him, and why he's got such respect from the entire locker room because of that right there. I mean, he very easily could have been like, man, I didn't play well, but especially as a freshman. But for him to let it roll off his back and say, hey, we got to win, and I want to celebrate with my teammates no matter what I did. That's the most important thing. I saw that immediately, when I was doing some interviews, hanging out outside of the press conference, and so just. You knew that he was going to handle it how he was supposed to, but always great to hear that also from the coordinator too.
As we've documented, winning is hard, and we know that after what we've been through the last 8 years of Husker football. So everybody should celebrate wins, and that's my message is also to all of you fans: celebrate wins, and don't walk away and go, "Well, we should have won by more." And yeah, the coaches know that, players know that sometimes, but celebrate the wins. We've not had many of them around here, and so I'm glad to hear that Dylan was able to do that and realize, wasn't my best game, doesn't matter. We won, we're 5-1, we're moving on. Bye weeks are a great time to look at what you've done through 6 games, self-evaluate. Here's Marcus Satterfield, and he was asked, did something stand out as you look back at the first 6 games, something you can do better in the back half of the season?
Third downs. We got to be way better on third downs. I think if we can stay on schedule, we're good. But you get into that certain down and distance where you have to throw and catch. We're not as good as we need to be in order to accomplish the goals that we have. The rest of the way out.
Yeah, I mean that's been something that Searles has talked a lot about on the podcast. It's not even about, hey, we got to execute on third down. It's not getting ourselves in a situation where third downs are difficult to get. You've got to stay on schedule with the first and second downs. And so, it's easy to say, oh, we're not very good on third down. But a lot of times it's because they're not doing what they need to do on first and second down.
And we were better early in the season. First couple games, pretty good on third down conversions. But it's kind of gone south. And we're playing Big Ten teams, better defenses with Illinois, Purdue, and Rutgers, and it's going to only get tougher as we make our way through the end of this season. All right, Indiana, the opponent. Kurt Zanetti came from James Madison, brought a lot of his players with him, and they've all adapted pretty well to IU football. Marcus Satterfield was asked, did they bring a lot of their defensive concepts with them to Bloomington as well?
Very similar. It's a very technical scheme. I mean, they do a lot of stuff, so a lot of coverages at you. They can get you in passing situations. They can make it, really hard to move the football just with all the different fronts and coverages and pressures that they do.
You could tell just both coordinators and Coach Roll, there's a lot of respect for Indiana and what they've done.
And Jess, with a bye week, and this plays both ways, coaches have had a lot of time to go, we could tinker, we could do this. You're going to see some things from both Indiana and Nebraska Saturday that we haven't seen the first 6 games, because these coaches, they like to be mad scientists and get in there and kind of cook up some new things. So I think you're going to see some different things on both sides of the football on Saturday. That really intrigues me as we make our way through and get ready for this game. All right, Conway, let's switch to defense. Tony White met with the media today as well. first, the reaction from him about getting Sierra Wright and also Brian Buschini black shirts. Here's his take on that.
Yeah, I didn't see Brian's. I mean, I when I walked to practice, I just saw him there kicking with it, and you could tell he had a little pep in his step and stuff, which is really neat. First thing is like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then Sierra actually, the jersey was swapped, so it was on the sideline. So he kind of didn't even want to put it on at first, just because he understood and stuff. And I was like, hey man, you put that damn black jersey on, you understand what it means. So he had a big smile on his face, and he's continued to do well.
So that's interesting. He comes out, they give him the jersey, use it's in your locker. I guess he maybe didn't know if I'm supposed to put it on now or they're going to do something on the field. So he brought it out and set it on the sideline. And Coach White goes, "Get that on. It was given to you. Put that thing on." I mean, it's a pride thing. Get that jersey on top of your other one right now. So that's kind of a cool little wrinkle that we did not hear that yesterday. That's kind of funny.
Oh, that's great. And it's cool too. Just Sierra's a guy that he got here in the summer, and it's not like he's a Nebraska kid, but the fact that he understands and knows how that is, and that he had that reverence for it was cool to hear. He's on my list of hopefuls to a Cornhusker conversation, because I think he would be a fascinating conversation.
Yes. Talk about Space Jam, all of his acting jobs. Think about that, Jess. You said something really interesting there. This guy didn't become a Cornhusker till early July, and look at the impact he's having on his football team. Isn't that crazy? He got there like less than a month before camp opened.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of forget that. But it was, he didn't go through spring. He didn't go through summer conditioning. And a lot of that time is when you're building those connections and that chemistry and all of this. That's what's making this team special. He wasn't a part of it. So the fact that he's been able to come in and earn the respect and trust, and he is another guy that's really well liked. You could just tell by the way that guys interact with him on the sideline. He is very, very well liked by this team. And so for him to have been able to do that and have not gone through everything else that this team went through together over the course of what builds up into a football season is really impressive. And then, oh, by the way, he's learning this defense and being thrown into a situation and really just making the most of his opportunity.
Love it. I sure hope you get that done. He would be a fascinating Cornhusker
And
conversation.
he's a great interview, and it's very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the first time I talked to him, he's like, thank you so much. And I was just like, you don't have to thank me. I'm thanking you for your time.
Yeah.
So I think he will be a really, really great conversation.
No doubt. All right, Tony White was asked, Indiana's offense, are they similar to anybody we played to this point?
Nobody. Just because they operate so efficiently. They know exactly what they're doing, what they want to do. I mean, you got elements of the running backs remind me of Manon guy at Rutgers. They run hard, they're physical, they're downhill. The tight end, the way they use their tight end, 44. I mean, he came over. Really unique. I mean, you'll see him out there at the number one in quads. He'll be in the box. He motions. And they get him the ball. So they're elements of some teams all around, but just their efficiency on offense, how well the quarterback's playing. They got one of the best wide receivers there are. In the conference with 13. So again, they're a really, really good football team.
Again, you just go back to listening to both coaches talk today. They've got a lot of respect and have been obviously pretty impressed with what they've seen on tape out of Indiana so far. And the fact that they can, that Indiana's been good on both sides of the ball, so good on both sides of the ball. And I talked to both an offensive player and a defensive player today, and just hearing their perspective on watching the film and the tape. And they know that they're going to have their hands full on Saturday, that this week of preparation is absolutely critical to be able to match up and handle a team like Indiana.
The quarterback, Rourke, really good passing numbers, over 70% completion, excellent touchdown to interception ratio, and he can move around a little bit. He's not a statue back there. He'll remind you a little bit, even though he's much taller than Luke Altmaier of Illinois, but the ability to escape pressure and hurt you some with his legs. Here's Coach White talking about Indiana's QB.
I mean, he's doing what he's got to do, to get out of the pocket. I remember facing him when he was a young buck at Ohio, running the option and all that kind of stuff. And now he's just a completely different player. You can see he knows where he wants to go with the football, and he is right the high majority of the time. So, I mean, you can't beat a quarterback who knows what you're in and knows where to go with the ball, and he's accurate as all heck. And that's why they're one of the top offenses in the country.
I mean, that's scary to hear that. But you and I have had this conversation last night when we were talking about transfer portal and how much difference a really good quarterback can make for a program. And this is one of those instances.
All right. Sold out crowd, fired up program, coming off a bye week, feeling their oats. It's going to be imperative, I think, for this defense for Nebraska to try to set the tone early, much like they did against Colorado. Here's Coach White talking about the need to start fast.
I think just the way we play defense, period. You know what I mean? You always want to start fast, no matter what it is. Offense, defense, special teams, you always want to go out there and start fast and really get into the flow of the game. But that's something we got to do from the get-go. And I think that's when we played our complete games, we've done just that, being able to go out there and have success early on. But with a team like this, you're going to give up some plays, right? They're one of the best offenses in the country, so it's a matter of executing on a consistent level and then just playing our butts off.
I mean, Greg, just look what happened when the Huskers, the Black Shirts, did what they did to Colorado and stifled them. It frustrated them. It got them all out of sorts and out of rhythm. And then it got in their head. You hear this team talk a lot about it's not just about a fast start. They want to play a complete game and they want to have a fourth quarter shutout and all of that. But to be able to get into the heads and frustrate a team like Indiana from the start and not let them get into a rhythm, I think is extra important against an offense like this.
I agree. You don't want to fall behind 10-0, 14-0 on the road. That place will be jacked up. I know it's not overly big. It seats just over 50,000, so it's not a very big stadium. But smaller stadiums could be a little bit more intimate. You go to some of the ones in the Big 12 that are a little bit smaller, like an Ames or a Kansas State. Those are as tough of places to play as any because everybody's kind of right on top of you. So got to get out of the gate quick in this one on Saturday. Hey, Wood House, they've been your trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Wood House, the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. All right, we're going to open up the phone lines, 402-413-2400. I see some texts coming in. We'll address those next.
It's time again for some Nebraska Farm Facts. For Nebraska soybean farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices. And they have significant sustainability goals by 2025. 10% more energy efficiency, 10% less land, and 25% less soil erosion. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hey Husker fans, Coach Rule here, thanking you for your incredible support of Nebraska football. We're working every day to bring championship football back to Nebraska. Just as important is your contribution to 1890 Nebraska, the official NIL collective of Husker Athletics. Every contribution, no matter how small, makes a big impact. Your support helps us recruit and retain top talent, bringing a winning program that can compete at the highest level. Visit 1890nebraska.com or text NEBNIL to 801-801 now.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
In the game of life, we all face tough moments. Sometimes it feels like we're up against a formidable defense with no way through. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Don't wait for the final whistle. Reach out, speak up, and let's tackle this together. Because in Nebraska, we're more than a team. We're family. Remember, in times of need, call, text, or chat 988. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hello, Husker Nation. This is Lexi Rodriguez, All-American Libero, serving you an ace on behalf of Noddle Companies based in Omaha, Nebraska. Noddle Companies is a full-service leader in commercial real estate, digging deep to create thriving communities like the Builders District, Exarban Village, and the contemporary row house townhomes. They bring world-class concepts in fashion, great eats, gorgeous homes, and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. To dig up more information, find them on Facebook and Instagram. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Last season was a banner year for the Huskers, winning 5 Big Ten titles. Nebraska also finished in the top 25 in the Directors' Cup standings. Beardmore Subaru congratulates Husker Athletics and Nebraska student athletes for all their achievements and stands behind you again this season. Go Big Red! Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester, the same trusted SUV it's always been, only more so. Love begins with trust.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Cox Mobile is hosting Huskers Hangout. It's Omaha's official watch party this Saturday at Smash Park. Love that. In La Vista. The game kicks off at 11. Fox's big noon kickoff game. The event open to the public. All ages are welcome. Husker Hangout presented by Cox Mobile this Saturday at Smash Park in La Vista. For more information, go to huskers.com/hangout. You've been there. You recommend Smash Park to the folks.
Yeah, I had a great time when I went. We went over the summer, and there's lots to do. We play pickleball. They've got cornhole or bean bags, whatever you call it. We've had that discussion here before. They've got big screens everywhere, great food. So, yeah, I was a big fan, and I can only imagine it's probably pretty fun on a game day, Husker game day.
Absolutely. The weather's supposed to be decent Saturday. Go and hang out and kind of cheer on the Big Red in that game on Saturday. Tim in Minnesota wants to add his name to our October Cool Club's birthday wish. His is the 12th, so happy belated birthday to Tim. Happy birthday to Coach Hoiberg, by the way. And he goes, several other Husker players or October birthdays. I saw one today. Was it Ramir Stewart maybe today that they put out a little thing that it's his birthday as well. Mike wanted to know what year Sierra Wright is. He is a junior, so he has 2 years of eligibility left, this one and then one more with the Huskers, and good to have him for a couple of years. John in Omaha says, is it true that our players say that steel sharpens steel? It's actually iron sharpens iron, Mike, is what they say. This should be a perfect step up in competition to get us ready for the rest of the year. We will find out a lot about ourselves this Saturday. Let's remember also Indiana has to prepare for a pretty good team, probably the best one they've seen. There's no doubt. We're the best team Indiana's played, and Jess, they're probably the best team we played. I mean, Illinois I think they're pretty good. They're in a different ilk, but I think Indiana statistically is the best team we have seen to this point in time this season. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a heck of a game.
Yeah, and I think it's a different kind of matchup, right? I mean, you talk about Illinois is a team that does a lot of what Nebraska wants to do. We heard Coach Roll saying that the big physical and who can be the most physical team and grind out that. Indiana's not quite like that. They're not quite built like that. So it's a different looking team that, certainly is talented, but it's, when you talk about comparing, is which best team that we've placed, it's also different too. It's a different looking kind of team. So that's always poses a different challenge. But I said it last night. Looking at Indiana's schedule, I think there's no doubt that we're the best team, that Nebraska's the best team that they will have seen too. So it goes both ways. And like you said earlier, it's going to be pretty fun to see the kinds of chess moves and game plans that have gone into this one for both teams, being that both teams have come off of a bye. To add to the steel point, I do think there is some kind of saying with steel, though. I don't know if it's the steel sharpens steel, if that's the actual saying. I know that iron sharpens iron, and they do say that, but I do think there is something that they have used to reference steel at some point or another. So he wasn't
John,
completely
you might be right.
Yeah.
This is what a great opportunity. I keep saying that. I've been on a couple affiliates this week. This week and next week are great opportunities. Huge national exposure being Big Noon kickoff. Playing teams that are ranked. This is just a great opportunity for Matt Rule to continue to show the country this program is making progress. So, that's how I look at it. And these type of things get me excited. Not that I don't get excited when Northern Iowa's here or UTEP, but it's a different level, right? Your blood pumps a little bit harder through your heart. Your body gets fired up. You kind of get that tingling sensation in your body all week long in anticipation of this game. So I just think great opportunity for the Big Red this week and next week with these great national windows to go show people we're getting better as a program.
Yeah, and I had an interview with Ja'Cory Barney, who's going to be this week's Cornhusker Conversation. He said that very thing. This is the kind of games that you live for and you want to play it. You want to have these kinds of opportunities where all eyes are on you. You're on Big Fox. It was funny too. Dylan was pretty pumped that Gus Johnson was calling the game. These are the kinds of announcers and broadcasters that these guys know and have heard and want to be playing a game where they're calling. So this is as a competitor, as an elite college football player for these guys. This is what you want to have the opportunity to be able to go do.
Everybody gets excited about Gus, and Gus is great. I like the fact that Joel Klatt. I think Joel Klatt does his homework. He's prepared. He will do a great job breaking down this game. But I don't want you watching him live, folks. You got to be listening to us.
Yeah, go back, DVR, and go back and watch. Listen to us live. Yes.
Exactly. Do that way. Hey, need to take a break. Back to wrap up hour one coming up next.
Preparation is the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pre-game routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start. Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude. Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agents Jeff Bond or Reed Duvall in Lincoln, or Agent Victoria Watkins in Nebraska City.
This fall, be ready for every tailgate, touchdown, and adventure in a perfect car, truck, or SUV from Sid Dillon Chevrolet. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo and shop Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer group. We're also your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, offering medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit us at SidDillonChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. A couple minutes left on our Tuesday night, hour number 1, 402-413-2400, the number to be part of the program tonight, either with a call or a text. Carla on our text line to further discussion concerning Indiana. Maybe you could interview someone from the Big Ten scheduling department and ask how they determine and create the different sports schedules year to year, what goes into the rotations. We've kind of done some of that in the past, Carla. It's a pretty extensive and getting harder job to do. When you go to 18, it's an unbelievable puzzle. They've got computer programs to try to make sure teams don't play, say, 2 to 3 games in a row on the road, or try to get your rivalry games mixed in there. Try to give ample rest at times for teams. So it's a pretty extensive service that they go into. And God, I wouldn't want that job. Now with 18 team conferences, my goodness, it was hard enough with 8 or 10. Now you double that. It's an unbelievable puzzle, particularly trying to put like the sport of basketball where they play 20 games. Football is one thing with just the 9 conference games. I can't imagine trying to juggle 20 conference basketball games, or 18 on the women's side. And what's volleyball? I think volleyball might be 18, somewhere right in that area. That's a hard job, Jess, and I know people sometimes complain about it, but that's not easy.
Yeah, no, thank you. And even, to add to that, you now have these big-time TV partners that you've got to think about matchups and what kind of matchups. Even though teams change, as we've talked about all week, they aren't exactly what you think they're going to be in the summer, but you still have to also project maybe some big-time matchups for NBC to have on primetime in November, So that's... Yeah, throw that into the element too. I would not want that job. Absolutely not. No, thank you.
Take me off that list. Hey, take hour 1 off your list. What a good fun hour. Sports Sunday, come back. We're going to hear from Javin Wright. Ben McLaughlin will join us for a segment. All that in hour 2.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Is your phone system holding you back? We know how important smooth, reliable communication is for your success. Whether your team is working from the office or on the go, you need a phone system that keeps up with your busy day. At Hamilton, we offer business phone systems that adapt to your needs, making every call clear and every connection simple. Upgrade to a Hamilton business phone system where advanced features meet unmatched reliability. Are you ready to transform how you communicate? Better phones, better business. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Earlier today, defensive coordinator Tony White spoke to the media about a variety of different topics, including how the depth at cornerback helps the defense be flexible.
Yeah, a lot of flexibility, right? Gives you a lot of flexibility to move guys around. I mean, you got Keese in there and his safety time, Malcolm at his corner time. I mean, when all those guys are healthy, Bly is working himself back and getting healthy and getting him in shape and getting his wits about him. So, again, the more we can be flexible, the more we can take snaps off of guys, the more we can move guys around. I think, you just have a better overall product back there. Guys are fresher, guys are faster, they're keeping each other sharp. So we'll see how that plays out this Saturday.
The AP preseason women's basketball poll came out this afternoon, and Nebraska is ranked 23rd. It's the second time in the past 3 years that the Huskers have been ranked in the preseason. Nebraska is one of 6 Big Ten teams ranked, joining number 3 USC, number 5 UCLA, number 14 Ohio State, 18th ranked Maryland, and 25th ranked Indiana. Iowa, Illinois, and Michigan State are all receiving votes as well. Former Husker baseball star Jake Myers was named an AL Gold Glove finalist in center field, along with Dalton Varsho and Jaron Duran. This year's winner will be announced on November 3rd. Speaking of Nebraska baseball, the Huskers just wrapped up their red-white game today. The Red won 5-1 thanks to a strong performance from Jalen Worthley on the mound. Worthley went 5 innings, allowed just 4 hits, no runs, struck out 3, and only walked 1. Josh Overbeek led the Red team offense as he went 3 for 4 with a double. Case Sanderson was 2 for 3 for the White squad. For more information and stats, visit Huskers.com. Finally, the Husker men's golf team wrapped up play in the Cubane Cup today. Nebraska finished 3rd in a 13-team field, loaded with NCAA regional qualifiers. Rudy Satrone and Grant Jabenis both finished in the top 10 individually as well. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
They are bunched up around the line of scrimmage. Handoff to Dowdell off the right side. Touchdown, Nebraska! Dante Dowdell finds Pater. 6-0 Big Red. Let those balloons loose. 4th and 10 from the 26. Shotgun for Kaliak Menace. Gets the belt high snap. Has some time. Gets hit. Goes down. Huskers will take over on downs. James Williams again gets home.
Bump set to the left side, and Hudson swings. There's Lexi with another dig. Huskers the slide. Jackson needs it. Off the dig it out. Nebraska's second lead, set 5. It's 13-15. 13-12 Nebraska. Devaney Delirium. Bergen sends it to the back middle. Great pass again by Hudson. Outside set. Chloe Chacoin tipping. And there's Bergen. Huskers have it. 16-15 in the 5th. Right side. Merritt. She got it. Point Big Red. Call the grandkids. Nebraska takes down Purdue. 17-15. Set number 5. And they love it in Lincoln.
Now, here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Back for hour 2, Tuesday night show, Sports Nightly programming note. Tomorrow night's our football show, and the head coach will be here during hour number 1. Looking forward to having him in there after the bye week. And then our athletic director show for the month of October will be Thursday night. So Troy Dannon will be in. No show Friday, Husker volleyball. They're at Michigan State Friday. Then quick hop to Columbus, Ohio. They'll play the Buckeyes Saturday afternoon. That's a quick turnaround. I know it's an early evening match at Michigan State, and it's not a long flight. But still, man, they play in the afternoon on Saturday with Ohio State. So less than 24 hours, they'll play a second match coming up here this weekend. No volleyball show because of their travel this week. Coach Cook will be back next Thursday night for his next volleyball show. And just before you know it, we're going to be talking to Amy Williams, Fred Hoiberg, assistant coaches for hoops. Going to be here quick.
I am ready for it. I'm sitting down with Allison Widener tomorrow. She said she's been full go, so I'm anxious to see, how she is coming off the second injury. I think she was a little impatient, and I'll be. She admitted that, when I talked to her back in the spring, that she pushed it maybe a little bit too much. So probably learned her lesson a little bit. And as hard as it is, and as competitive as she wants to be, it's hard to wait and sit back when you feel okay. But hopefully she's all good to go. But she just provides some of those intangibles that really, some winning plays, that just gritty, that when the Huskers needed it. So hopefully she can find that again and be that for this team, and find the role that works. But she's been a leader, so I'm excited. But we talked a lot about this in the first segment. There's a lot of expectations for this team, and that's what they want. They want to be a program where you go into the season expecting certain things, and so we'll get a chance to chat with one of the leaders tomorrow, and we'll hear from her. So, but yeah, I'm ready. I'm excited. I think both teams are going to have, I think it's going to be a fun season of Husker hoops for both men's and women's.
No doubt. Well, earlier today, you did have a chance to sit down with Javin Wright, number 33, who had some health issues crop up again after the early part of the season. The coaches did not expect him back till November. He made it back for the Purdue game, played some there, played more against Rutgers, and I think you're going to see his snap count go up as we make our way through the rest of the season. He's a playmaker. He can do so many different things. Good to have him back on. And here's Jessica's chat with 33 from earlier today.
Jessica Coody here with our ODFL Best in the Game interview, Javin Wright. Well, how was the bye week for the team and for yourself?
It was amazing. I think it was well needed. We needed a rest and to get back, refresh our bodies, refresh our minds, refresh our spirit, and we're ready for this week.
So your story's been documented. You basically got cleared. You didn't practice a whole lot, and so now you've got a couple weeks of practice, now a couple games. How do you feel progression-wise, just in being ready to be in game shape again?
It's getting better and better every week. So this week I'm more self-confident than I was last week and the week before that. So I'm just getting better, and I'm ready for this Saturday.
How did it feel to get back out there in the last couple of games?
I was so excited. It was amazing. So I've been wanting to get back for the last 4 weeks, and when I got back, I was just playing with a different type of spirit, just because I appreciate the game a lot more.
You told me before the season that you started to feel settled into that inside linebacker role. Did you feel like you were able to pick back up and feel really good about that spot?
Yeah, it took me time to do that, but just because I wasn't playing for a while and I used to get rusty on some stuff. But I'm an old dog, so I'm able to pick up on stuff really quickly and the defense and all the techniques. So when I was able to do that, it was easy for me to get back into that role and get back into that feeling again.
You guys are such a tight group, the inside linebacker group. How was it playing alongside Johnny B?
Oh, it's great. We have a lot of inside jokes, a lot of history together. We watch film together. We do everything together. So playing with John B it's chemistry, and it's easy to play with him.
Yeah, that whole group, though, how do you guys feel like you guys are playing and being in the middle of that defense and holding things down for the guys?
Oh, it's easy. We're like the chain between the D linemen and the DBs it's like a connected world. So once that chain is strong, we can all play all together. So we just got to keep the chain strong.
Coach is saying this week he expects you to play a big role in the game plan this week for a team like Indiana. What goes into that for you? How are you preparing for whatever this team might need from you?
My schedule is a little different than everyone else's, obviously, so I got to keep my conditioning up, keep my weight up, and then make sure I get some extra film in. And then my walkthroughs are really important. Everything is kind of deliberate for me, so I got to make sure I'm really focused on everything I do. So when the game time happens, I'm ready to fill that role.
How exciting is it for you that they are, knowing that they want to rely on you and that they want to plug you in and be a part of the game preparation and what they need to do to be successful against Indiana?
It's very reassuring for them to do that with me, just because they could have easily just tossed me to the side and say you can be ready next year, or we can give you another year or something like that. But they believed in me, and they believed in me coming back, and they believe in my talent. So I'm extremely grateful for that.
The defensive line, how big have they been in setting you guys up with the inside linebackers for what you're able to do?
I can't talk enough about the defensive line. I'm very grateful for them just because they do all the messy work up there. They're physical, they're fast, they're tenacious, they're relentless. I mean, with all that being said, they help us linebackers get what we need to do. So.
Ty was just saying that it's a mentality that you guys just refuse to allow teams to score rushing touchdowns or just that mindset switch. How has that been being part of that and how that has changed and what you guys are able to do out on the field? I
have a different perspective on that just because I was out for 4 weeks, so I got to see it from the box outside the box. And then now that I'm inside the box, I kind of adopted that mentality now. And it's easy to say that just because that we take pride in our run defense and we take pride in being physical. So when they get into the red zone, where our backs are against the wall, so we just start punching and we figured the stuff out.
You guys had such a great performance the last time out. How did that carry over into the bye week, and what were some of the things you guys were looking to do to build off of and improve over the last couple weeks?
So there's always something to improve. So we just figured out something to improve. So like pass defense and other details that we need to do to get better every week.
And then just tell us about this matchup with Indiana. Obviously, they're explosive offense, but what do you guys need to do defensively to be able to be successful against that offense?
Like you said, it's an explosive offense. The receiver cores are good. The running backs are good. The QB knows how to read defenses, so like disguises and other good stuff to mix up the offense and confuse the offense. And then just doing our jobs is probably the best thing for us this week, and that's what we've been focusing on.
Second road trip. You've played now in two of the three. How do you like the road trips, and how does it bring this team together?
Oh, I think we love road trips just because we like going into other people's territory and kind of like conquering, like some Vikings or something like that. So going there and just doing what we do and bringing our own energy. So.
And how important is it for you guys to, I know you talk about 4 quarters and a 4-quarter shutout, but on the road to be able to come out and have a good start?
Good start is fine, but we got to play the rest of the game. The game is the most important thing, especially at the end of the game. That's what Big Ten football comes down to, the last 2 minutes, last 4 minutes or fourth quarter. So being the best in the fourth quarter is definitely our main goal.
All right, best of luck. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And that is Javin Wright, our ODFL Best in the Game interview. Greg, I mean, I've talked to you guys about it on the air during the broadcast, but he said it. How did it feel to get back there? He's like, he couldn't even explain it. He was just so joyful and ecstatic. And when every time he's running off the field at Purdue, he just had this huge smile on his face. You could just see his smile gleaming through his face mask. And, I know it meant a lot for his teammates too, to have him out there. But we heard Coach Rule say in his press conference, he feels like he's going to be an important piece just because of his skill set, that he is a guy that they feel like they could probably utilize in this matchup against Indiana. But, it's a process, right? I mean, he didn't practice at all. Even the week of Purdue, he didn't practice. He, just gets the okay, runs out there. So he's still getting back into feeling 100% in terms of just, it's a different feel being game shape. And so hopefully he gets closer and closer, but he was able to play more snaps than they expected. And so, I know they were excited about what he was going to provide before the setback. And then to be able to get him back earlier than expected. And then now to have him have his skill set in a matchup that you feel like he could be utilized for, just a huge lift. And then just, his story and everything that he fought through just gives the team, I think, a different perspective too. And they certainly were excited to get him back. I can tell you that.
They have a dynamic tight end, so guys like Javin could cover those. Gift can as well. But think about this. Might get Tommy Hill back. Bly Hill's getting really close to contributing. So the defense is adding parts, not losing parts. And I'm knocking on wood because I don't want to jinx us that this week we have 4 guys go down. But this defense might be getting healthier as this season moves along instead of going the other direction. That is pretty darn exciting. Plus, you can even start mixing in some guys that you're going to redshirt, as we only have 6 games left. They used one of Riley Van Poppel's games against Rutgers. I don't know that they'll do that this week with Riley, but save him for games like Iowa and Wisconsin where you need to stop the run. So they can really pick their spots as they make their way through the back half of the season. And on road, it's a little harder to do, right? Because you only travel 74, easier to because you can overload the roster for a home game. It's kind of unlimited for for home games.
I think
that's exciting.
Yes, and you know that with Tony White and this defensive staff, they're going to run in a lot of guys, and we heard Terrence Knighton say even before the bye week, those guys felt pretty healthy, felt really good. Because they're so deep on the D line, they've got a lot of guys that can spread around the snaps. What I'm going to be really, really curious to see is what changes they made in the personnel and the special teams. Because we heard Coach Rule talking about that the conversations that they had about getting guys on those special teams that can go make plays. And so if there's tweaks there, to me, like that's going to be more fascinating to watch out for than even the defensive rotation, because they're going to run a lot of different guys out there. But I will be interested to see if they made some changes to the special teams units to try to get some things right in that regard.
Good stuff. Good to hear from Javin. When we come back, Ben McLaughlin will join the show. What do you do on his bye week? And does he have any thoughts about Husker baseball as they're ready to wrap up fall ball? Game 4 of the Red-White Series today. Game 5 will be tomorrow before this weather starts to flip. They've had great weather. Same thing for softball getting through their fall season. Back with Ben next.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops, and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down. We only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils, and a deep pride of our roots, we are born to raise at Hogemeyer. Learn more at therightseed.com.
From family road trips in a spacious SUV to heavy-duty hauling in a powerful truck, Woodhouse has the vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Purchasing a vehicle has never been easier thanks to our streamlined buying process. Browse a huge selection of new or pre-owned vehicles from top brands. View transparent pricing so you can find the vehicle that fits in your budget. And complete your purchase online. Shop when you want, where you want. It's the Woodhouse difference. Get started today at woodhouse.com.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get a 2024 Ford Super Duty for 1.9% with Ford credit financing, or get $2,000 bonus cash only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
For almost 50 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been more than just a dealership. We're a family dedicated to serving yours. Shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer for the new car, truck, or SUV to fit your needs. We're also your GMC Business Elite dealer for commercial vehicles. Visit us at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets, and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get a 2024 Ford Super Duty for 1.9% with Ford credit financing, or get $2,000 bonus cash only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Last season was a banner year for the Huskers, winning 5 Big Ten titles. Nebraska also finished in the top 25 in the Directors' Cup standings. Beardmore Subaru congratulates Husker Athletics and Nebraska student athletes for all their achievements and stands behind you again this season. Go Big Red! Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester, the same trusted SUV it's always been, only more so. Love begins with trust.
Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They're the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Well, I've been checking in on all the broadcast crew to see how they survived bye week number 1. The one guy we haven't checked that list with is Ben McLaughlin, who joined us on the program here tonight. So what was your bye week Saturday like?
What a bye week it was, right? Like we couldn't have drew that up any better with what games were on tap on Saturday. It was weird being a fan, and it always is every year because we're big college football fans, obviously, but we cover the Huskers, so we don't get to watch a ton of games from our couch like maybe we do on the NFL Sunday. But to be able to sit back and just flip back and forth from game to game all day long was exceptional. And then, of course, the great finish to Ohio State and Oregon. I even made it past 1 o'clock to watch the end of the Colorado K-State game in Boulder. It was great. I enjoyed every minute of it, and then followed it up with about 8 more hours of football on Sunday. Luckily for me, my wife worked, so I wasn't crucified for how much time I spent in front of the TV for 2 straight days.
Kind of hard to not do it, right? I mean, like you said, we see snippets of games when we do a Saturday game, but not a lot. So it's just kind of cool to be able to kick back and watch game after game and see the different styles. And, man, so many overtime games, close games. Ben, I kind of think this NIL may end up being a bit of a parity thing for college football. It may level out the talent in some ways, and maybe we're seeing evidence of that here in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think that's true for like the top 50, top 60 programs around the country. I definitely think that's the case because, the Alabamas of the world, the Texases of the world, they can't pay everybody. I mean, they can't afford everybody, and they only have so many roster spots. So, yeah, other good players are going to get paid to go elsewhere, kind of like our starting quarterback. So I think you're right in a sense that, the big dogs are going to get their cake, but they're not going to be able to eat it too with some of the other athletes. So I think it has added a certain layer of complexity to the deal with college football, but I also think it's made it better in some instances, diversifying some of the talent.
Who would have thought, Ben, that we'll be headed to Bloomington, Indiana, by the way, only for the second time in 13 years we've been a part of this league, and it's a huge game. I mean, you got big noon kickoffs, pregame show is going to be there with Fox. We got the Fox A-team calling the game. I mean, who would have thought Indiana, Nebraska would be a prime game, but by golly, it sure is.
So crazy. So crazy. I'm actually down in the great state of Alabama with my other job right now. And, I just talked to a high school baseball coach nonetheless about Matt Rule and how he's all in on Matt Rule down in Alabama. They're aware of Coach Cignetti in Bloomington. It's kind of crazy that 2 programs that, in different instances, right? Nebraska wants a power, Indiana a power in basketball, not so much football. Have got some life pumped back into it, and it's great that the national college football landscape is kind of recognizing that. Getting Big Noon kickoff, I think, is going to be great. Two pretty excitable programs at the moment, and I think it's going to be a really competitive game on Saturday. I really do. And that's just going to make for great watching, I think, for college football fans. But, Indiana being undefeated for the first time in, however long now, probably close to 50 years at this point, I think certainly has some eyebrows raised around the country.
Should be a beautiful day. They're talking about weather in the low 70s, sunny skies, not as much wind as we dealt with for the Rutgers game, which I really feel like that was a tough day for Dylan. It was a tough day to throw the ball, kick the ball, those things. I don't know that he handled it real well, but I think it's good that he went through that experience to know, all right, I gotta attack the wind maybe differently the next time he faces that. But it should be a great setting on Saturday, sellout crowd. It should be just a load of fun. This team, I think, for the most part, Ben, kind of did what we thought they would do in the first half of the year, right? At 5-1, it's hard to go undefeated. But I think you would take 5-1 if you spun it back to July or August ago. Would you take 5-1 at the break?
Yeah, I think you definitely would, right? I mean, this program hasn't been in a position like this with their record in years. So I think you're definitely taking that. And, you can kind of do some inference with preseason and try and put together win-loss and all that, but you never quite know the full detail of the story. You don't know how it's going to look. You don't know, those style points that everybody loves. You don't know how many close wins, how many close losses, how many interceptions is Dylan going to throw, how's Tony White's teeth, all those little nuancy things. You're never quite sure how it's going to look until the games happen. But I think the end result is you're happy being 5-1. I mean, the first step here is get to a bowl game. It's something this team hasn't done in a long time, and you're one win away from doing that. So, yeah, I mean, absolutely 5-1. We're all disappointed with how the Illinois game finished. That's a game Nebraska feels like they should have won, and they should have been potentially 6-0 playing Indiana. But, when you're a program trying to get back going, beggars can't be choosers, and I think everybody, for the most part, is pretty pleased with 5-1, buckling up for a really tough part of the schedule now, which we all knew was coming at this point.
No doubt. Next two on the road, and Ohio State number 4 in the country, so back-to-back ranked road opponents, certainly a big challenge. Visiting with Ben McLaughlin here on Sports Nightly on a Tuesday night. Let's switch gears. Baseball today wrapped up Game 4 of their 5-game Red-White series. I know you have snuck out to a couple of practice sessions. Unlike last year, a lot of familiar names, particularly in the lineup part of it. But your impressions of what you've seen and heard from the coaches about the way the makeup of this 25 Husker baseball team might look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing you notice when you're out there, no Josh Caron. That's the big one. And it's even weirder replacing him with a multi-year starter that wore that ugly blue color from up the road in Omaha from Creighton as his replacement. That's a little different. But coaches love what Hogan Holixo brings behind the plate, with his defense, his leadership. I had a chance to talk to a couple of Nebraska's pitchers when I was out there for practice a few weeks ago, just about Hogan and, his command of the staff, and all the pitchers respect him. They respect his experience. They respect the way he's come in and really tried to learn about all the guys and about not just their names, but their personalities, what they like off the field, something true leaders do. The pitching staff, I think, is going to be a big strength of this team. Coach Childress is really dialed in right now. There's a ton of competition for innings. I think they love what they get returning. Coach Bull has been very vocal with some national writers about returning 70%, 70% of the innings Nebraska pitched last year is returning. That is a very high number, and there's going to be some guys that was a part of that 70%. They're going to have to fight for roles because of some of the newcomers that they brought in that Coach Childress is really excited about. So it's one of those deals where the competition makes everybody better, and if you're not performing, you're not going to pitch. So I think it's made for a really fun fall. And there's some new pieces, offensively that I'm excited to see in game situations. One of them we did see in person in South Dakota State, the transfer Cale Frost. He'll be a mainstay in Nebraska's outfield. And there's an outfielder I'm really excited to see, Robbie Bolin. It's a guy that he's big, he's strong, he is incredibly fast and athletic, pretty comparable to Riley Silva in terms of speed And I think he's going to be a part of Nebraska's lineup every day as well. So there's some new parts, but as you mentioned, great to see the usual suspects back, right? Will Walsh is still around. Dylan Carey's still around. Gabe Swanson's still around. Rhett Stokes coming into his own. Joshua Overbeek's back. Riley Silva's back. There's a lot of names in there that the Huskers do get back, which is going to make for a really exciting February, even though, speaking of tough scheduling, this is the most aggressive baseball schedule I've ever seen a Husker team have, but it's going to make for a lot of fun.
Yeah, sure is. Ben McLaughlin, our guest here on Sports Nightly. It's always comforting to kind of go into a year knowing who your Friday guy is with Mason McConaughey. I got a feeling and I got a sense, and I want your take on this, that Ty Horn could grab one of those weekend spots. We expected so much out of him as a true freshman, and sometimes it just doesn't work out, but a light bulb goes on. He had a good summer, and it appears like he's having a good fall, and that he's maybe in line to be one of those weekend guys.
The talent is always there with Ty Horn. And the electric arm is there. And the scary thing is when you pair that talent with confidence. And, I think if you highlight one of his starts from last year, the Kansas start in Lawrence, he retired the first 3 hitters that he saw and looked dominant. Then he started to get a little shaky in the second inning and couldn't find it back. Nebraska lost the slugfest that night. But I think you saw a little bit of how Ty Horn operates. There wasn't a lot of positives to take away from the last game of the year against Florida. Nebraska was getting beat around and really, really offensive day in Stillwater. But something I'll make sure to talk about for the rest of Ty Horn's career is a matchup in the ninth inning that he had with one of the players of the year, Jack Caglione. He strikes him out on 3 pitches and just stares him down walking off the mound. Like, that's the guy that I want pitching, and that's the guy that Nebraska wants out there. And I think the summer that he had with the success he's had early in the fall, I wouldn't bet against him, being a huge, huge part to Nebraska's pitching staff and Nebraska's starting rotation come February.
Oh, and yeah, Caglione ended up being the first-round draft pick of the Kansas City Royals, and they're expecting big things out of him. Speaking of Major League Baseball, cool news today, Ben, that Jake Myers is one of 3 finalists for the Gold Glove in center field for the American League. He has worked his tail off, and largely because of his defense, he was in the lineup pretty much every day for the Astros. But what a cool thing for him at a school that has produced multi-Gold Glove winners in Gordon and Erstad. It'd be sure nice for Jake. I don't know what his odds are to win it, but he's one of 3 finalists. That's a really cool thing for Jake.
Yeah, I mean, even to just be named a finalist is something he can tell for the rest of his life. I mean, I've told Jake to his face this before, so I have no problem saying it now to everybody listening. One of the biggest, if not the biggest, surprise to make it in the big leagues in a Husker uniform that I could ever remember. Jake was a good college baseball player, but if you ask a Husker baseball fan what they remember about Jake Myers, it's not about how he projected at the next level as a center fielder. They're talking about his changeup and how he changed Nebraska's rotation pitching on Sundays. That's what they remember. And the fact that he's been able to make a big league career in not just any organization, but the Houston Astros in center field and as an everyday starter, it's an absolutely incredible story. I wouldn't even say Jake is overly talented, but as you said, he worked his butt off. And, this was a pitcher that threw 83, 84 miles an hour. But if you asked him, he threw 95. Like, that's the type of guy he is and the type of competitor he is, which is why he's been able to make it to a lot more talented than Jake Myers not make it in the minor leagues because they didn't have that killer in him like Jake does. And it's just a testament to him. He's a pleasure to watch. He's an unbelievable guy, really, really great human being. And, you love seeing those success stories. And I know the Astros love him with the way he patrols center field. Probably didn't have the year offensively he would have hoped this year. But, man, when you've got a weapon like that defensively and an offense like that, that's going to play in Houston.
Big offseason for him. It's his arbitration year, so it'll be a big offseason, whether he comes to terms with the Astros or what ends up happening there. Chance for him to make a little bit of money. He's basically been the major league minimum his first several years in Houston, so this could be a money contract for him, and I hope he gets everything he does. Okay, here's my veterans tip for everybody in the crew for Saturday. We've only been in his press box once. It's one of the older press boxes in the Big Ten Conference, but the visiting booth is at the very end with glass kind of all the way around us. if it's going to be sunny and the forecast is, it's going to be warm in that booth. So I would dress like with a polo shirt because you guys are going to be we're going to be sweating up in that booth on Saturday.
This is why we keep you around, okay?
I know.
This isn't stuff that we think of, you know? I don't have you in the hotels like in baseball addressing my attire, forecasting the weather. Like, hey, you realize it's going to be windy tonight, right? Yeah. Like, yeah, okay, I'll go get a jacket. You know, this is why we keep you around, keep everybody on their toes. And you're right. I had forgotten about that glass booth on the literal end of the press box because it's been so long since we've been there. That was the old Tyler Hoppus days when he was a Husker. You know, playing there in Bloomington only one time is just crazy. It's crazy that Nebraska's only been there once since joining the league.
Help me, Ben. Was it Brandon Riley who caught a pass on his back in that game?
Caught it on his back, yes. And that was Stanley Morgan's coming out party, too. Had the big ricochet bounce off the defender's hands, caught it, and ran in for a touchdown. Nebraska won by only a score against the Hoosiers in that one. But that was the year that Nebraska started. I think it was 6 or 7-0 before running into the Badgers in overtime in Madison the next week. But, yeah, it's been a long time since we've been there.
Tommy Armstrong, quarterback of that team in 2016.
That's right.
Ben, thanks. Looking forward to this game on Saturday. Travel safe, and let's get back in the booth on Saturday. Let's go get another win. Keep this thing rolling.
Let's do it. Sounds good. Appreciate you having me.
Ben McLaughlin with us here on Sports 90. Joined us on our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. They've been a trusted partner in you every day since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Phone and text lines open 402-413-2400. More of the show coming up next.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious fights, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on our massive screens. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. play. Drink, eat.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir. Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
From family road trips in a spacious SUV to heavy-duty hauling in a powerful truck, Woodhouse has the vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Purchasing a vehicle has never been easier thanks to our streamlined buying process. Browse a huge selection of new or pre-owned vehicles from top brands. View transparent pricing so you can find the vehicle that fits in your budget. And complete your purchase online. Shop when you want, where you want. It's the Woodhouse difference. Get started today at woodhouse.com.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump.
And save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
There's a new blood donation competition happening among Big Ten schools and a $1 million prize on the line. Huskers currentty #1, top of the leaderboard. So if you bleed red, donate blood and submit for Nebraska at big10.org/Abbott, ABBOTT, before December the 7th. Come on, Huskers. Let's bring it home. That'd be cool. Win that thing. Something that's pretty cool, Jess, Will Compton, former Husker who's got that podcast, Bussing with the Boys, they scored an interview with Donald Trump that's now out and posted. I might go listen to that. That might be hilarious.
Oh, I can only imagine. I did see a clip that he said he was a fan of Nebraska and Tom Osborne and Matt Rule, so sounds like he's a Husker fan.
He's just a sports fan. You know, he just likes sports. I mean, he can talk. Heck, he even goes to a lot of those UFC fights. He tried to get an NFL team at one time. He was the guy that was behind USFL, a league in the 1980s that did not make it, but kind of forced the hand of the NFL to do some different things. So, he's loves the golf. Obviously, golf's a lot and pretty good for his age. But I mean, that might be worth a listen. Go listen to him with Bussing with the Boys, our own Will Compton. What a path he's pay for himself, huh?
Yeah. I mean, they're huge. They were at the Oregon-Ohio State game, and I knew a couple of people that went and then went to their meet and greet, and they said it was just packed for people trying to meet those two guys. And neither one of them are alums of Ohio State or Oregon. You know, they're Michigan and Nebraska guys, and yet they have a huge following of Oregon fans. And Ohio State, I mean, across the country, they're just they become superstars. And so, yeah, they're absolutely massive, and that's what Coach Rule, I think, has mentioned, you know, how that's good for recruiting. And, you know, they did the All Access Tour back in the summer. And so Will's always, you know, Will does a good job. And Taylor does too. I mean, I saw a photo, the guys that I knew that took a photo with him Taylor's throwing up the bones because they were wearing Nebraska gear at the Oregon-Ohio State game. And so they posed for a photo, and Will's doing his pose where he's flexing, and Taylor is throwing up the bones. So, but as good as they are about embracing other programs and promoting college football, there is no doubt, not a single doubt, who is number one in Will Compton's heart, and there is no swaying him from that.
Cornhusker through and through, grew up in the St. Louis area, had a really good career here at Nebraska. Was a black shirt, obviously, when he played here for Nebraska. Made it in the NFL for quite a while. Played barely just in the last year or two. Has officially kind of stepped away from the NFL, but had a nice career there. Certainly found a nice niche, and I do want to say he sent me a nice note a couple of months ago wishing me well on my health journey, so I appreciate that, hearing from Will Compton. So, hey, maybe you'll show up at Indiana for you on Saturday.
That would be awesome. I don't know. They're almost like another game day stop. They're traveling to all these big places, but that'd be awesome if they were there. You've warned me a few times. I have interviewed him. Searles and I had him on our podcast.
Got to be careful.
But you were saying unless we've got the censor button, you got to be careful with Will.
Yeah, because a lot of times we'll go down the sideline. Ooh, careful here, because he has a hard time turning it on and off. Right, the PG version compared to what he normally does on his podcast. So, yeah, we don't want to get fined.
I do love the elements, though, that the Husker Vision and crew and marketing crew have added with him being a part of the in-game experience at home, because I mean, again, he's huge for recruits. He's obviously Husker Nation, and people that follow the podcast now know him, but he has that energy, and boy, he amps it up, doesn't he? So I think that's been a cool wrinkle this year.
Good for him. He's found a niche after football. A lot of guys struggle with that, to try to find something to do. 402-413-2400. Need to step aside, get a break in. We're back to wrap up tonight's show next.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get a 2024 Ford Super Duty for 1.9% with Ford credit financing, or get $2,000 bonus cash only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of this special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
In the game of life, we all face tough moments. Sometimes it feels like we're up against a formidable block with no way through. Call, text, or chat 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Don't wait for the final set. Reach out, speak up, and let's bump, set, and spike this challenge together. Because in Nebraska, we're more than players. We're a supportive community. Remember, in times of need, call a timeout. Call, text, or chat 988. It's okay to ask for help. We're here for you. Every serve, every pass. Go Big Red. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team of Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Final few minutes of our show tonight. Again, our football show tomorrow. Head coach Matt Rule in studio for hour number 1. Look forward to that. And then Troy Dannon's monthly AD show will be on Thursday night. Able to squeeze him in there because no volleyball show. Huskers travel on Thursday. They play at Michigan State Friday, which will actually bump us off the air Friday night. And then, quick turnaround, they go to Columbus to play Ohio State on Saturday. John Cook will be back the next Thursday for his next volleyball show. But looking forward to having a well-rested head coach, Matt Rule, who I guess got woken up in his office taking a nap by QB1. Knocked on the door and woke him up the other day. I wonder how that went over.
I bet that was quite an experience. I know they had some fun with it at the press conference today, but hey, I still haven't seen the coach's offices, but I'm sure he's got a nice little spot to nap because he's up there. Obviously, I think he got up, couldn't sleep, got up there, and then did some work. And then, hey, let me just get a little quick nap in. And QB1 interrupted that nap.
He needs to go to the sleep pod. Go get one of those sleep pods they got up there. They got a bunch of those.
I have not. I've seen a good portion of it, but I haven't seen everything yet. So, it's like it would take you. It's almost like one of those things where if you scheduled a tour, you'd actually need like a 2-day tour. You know, if you were purchasing to really take it all in. Did we lose him? Yeah, we lost. Oh, I guess we lost Greg. So, I was wondering why he just quit talking to me, but. Oh, gotta love technology. So, Greg, we just dropped out on him. So, final minute or so of the show. So, he was saying we've got Coach Rule coming on Wednesday night for the Nebraska football show and then no volleyball show, but we will have Troy Dannon coming in on Thursday. Oh,
I do want to say that for people who need their volleyball fix, go listen to The Dig. We only played part of that with Jalen the other day. You can get so much out of The Dig, and I know it's very, very popular, but I know we love to hear from Coach Cook, but, man, I love hearing from Jalen and Kelly and the whole crew. Yeah, Jordan Larson, all those that you do every week. With
Jalen, he's so great. I just, can't get all my questions in, but he's so nice to sit here and let me continue to pick his brain, and it's like a 40-minute podcast. So, they're just so great about – I mean, I've said this before, but for someone that's still pretty new to learning, the really in-depth portion of the game, they just are so patient with explaining and breaking things down and make it easy to understand. So, never run out of stuff to talk about either. Boy, they just make it so easy. So, yeah, there's a lengthy episode of The Dig out for you if you need a volleyball fix this week.
How about a Big Dog appearance for his podcast this week?
That's what I was about to say. Tomorrow. He was traveling. He went and watched Adrian, who got called up. He's on the active roster with the Jets. So he's traveling back from New York City. So we got him scheduled for tomorrow.
And he went back there for a wedding, right?
He had a wedding Saturday, and then he went to NFL game Sunday and an NFL game Monday.
He's living the dream.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's a former teammate or something for the wedding. Hey, good show. It was awesome tonight. So head coach Matt Rule tomorrow night. Thanks to Camden for steering the ship for us tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll talk to the head coach himself tomorrow, hour 1.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops, and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down. We only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils, and a deep pride of our roots, we are born to raise at Hogemeyer. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
From family road trips in a spacious SUV to heavy-duty hauling in a powerful truck, Woodhouse has the vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Purchasing a vehicle has never been easier thanks to our streamlined buying process. Browse a huge selection of new or pre-owned vehicles from top brands. View transparent pricing so you can find the vehicle that fits in your budget. And complete your purchase online. Shop when you want, where you want. It's the Woodhouse difference. Get started today at woodhouse.com.
Sunday morning. You can smell it. Game day. And the brisket you've been smoking since last night. A day to be with family, aka fellow football fans. Traditions make Sundays easy to enjoy. Beers do too. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the